Hi, I'm Jeff from Rockin' Rights here at the Warp Tour with Pat from Anti-Flag. How are you doing, Pat?
Doing well. It's great weather here in Toronto today, and the show was great. We had a lot of fun.
Great.
A lot of dirty kids.
Thanks for meeting us.
Yeah.
You've been on many Warp Tour editions. In what is it important to you to participate to the tour once again this year?
The thing that I like about Warp Tour is that it's a group of screwed up people who travel around playing music, and if you look, and obviously you've had some time to spend with people, and you realize that there's a lot of screw ups and weirdos and misfits, and those are the people that are our family, and those are the people that make sense to us. So whenever we get invited to come out on Warp Tour, it's always a good time for us to be able to spend a summer with screwed up people. You know, it's good. I like it.
That's great. And how is the Warp Tour different from others major tours?
I think that the people who run Warp Tour have a sense of the community that we grew up out of, the punk rock community. We've done other tours where they don't really get how we like to interact with people who come to the shows, and I think Warp Tour does get it. They, the people who are here understand the kids who come out, and yeah, I think it's much better than a lot of tours where there's a lot of separation between band and people who come to the show. Warp Tour, it's a lot freer. There's a lot better exchange between the bands and the people who come.
Great. The Warp Tour evolved a lot since the last few years. With all the sponsors and overconsumption encouraged here, we could suppose that the music has become an excuse to attract their kids and their money.
Yeah.
Isn't the mentality of a band such as Anti-Flag contrary to what seems to have become the band's Warp Tour?
And in many ways, again, that's the one of the things that we think is important about our band is that we want to be the alternative viewpoint to that type of consumption, because you're right, there is a lot of consumption that's going on at Warped Tour. It's about getting people to consume products, but we feel as though we need to have another voice out here, because if you don't have another voice, it's just all consumption. And actually, it's not just us. There's a lot of bands out here. Rise Against, Thursday, are all speaking out against this type of consumption that's going on. But I think that it's the band's responsibility to speak out against that type of thing, for sure.
Yeah, nice. We hear a lot about corporations and multinationals' impact on certain decisions made by government and on media's convergence. You recently associated yourself to a major.
Yes.
Isn't it a double message to denunciate the establishment while receiving money from a major label?
No, that's exactly how it should be. I think everybody should be using corporations' money to fight the battle. Yeah, and that's again, one of the things is we feel as though that if you don't engage, if you remove yourself from the process and say, well, you know what, we don't believe this stuff, so we're going to remove ourselves from the process, we feel as though the corporations and the people who are trying to take advantage of us, are winning, because there's nobody to counter there's no counterbalance to what they're saying, and we feel as though that we are doing our best to be a counterbalance. And that's why we feel as though, specifically in the U.S. right now, where everything is going so far to the right, it's so scary in the U.S. right now that we need to have artists and musicians and creative people to be fighting and standing up, because if we don't do that, then we're just rolling over, and the right wing is taking over everything. So. Yeah, sure, it's weird to have a band like Anti-Flag on a major label. I agree, it's weird for me. But I feel as though to be able to really have a voice that is able to be heard by people, that can really have change, you need to be part of the dialogue that's going on. And major labels are, unfortunately, right now, the only way of getting into that dialogue.
All right.
Now, and let me clarify that really quickly. For right now, they are the only way to enter the dialogue on a large scale. That does not mean that there should not be bands in the basement and every level coming up through that who should be speaking, and that's the way it should be always. But if you have all the bands in the underground speaking out, and then nobody is at the level of the the major label level speaking out, then it's like a tree falling in the woods. Sometimes you don't hear, nobody hears it. So is it really having an impact?
Yeah, that's true.